Welcome, everyone. This is your Sharp Squares podcast with the ambassador, David Eby. This is yours truly, Eric Glazer, and we're back for week 5 of the NFL season 2024-25. Last week, our Sharps went 55.9%. That's 33-26 if you're counting. Our medal games were 5-1. Our pick 5, 4-1, 3-2-1. We went 2-1, earning 4 of 6 points. Where does that land us? For the season, the Sharps are still only 45.3%, so we are battling. Our medal games are a little bit better than that. 14-10, that's 58.3%. Our pick 5 is up to 55% on DraftKings in that pool. For 3-2-1, we've only earned 11 of 24 points. That's 45.8%. That is based on a 6-6 record. Sharps who have been killing it, and there haven't been that many. Marco D'Angelo from Wager Talk, he's 4-1, 80% against the number. Chris Raybon from the Action Network is 8-4, 66.7% against the number. And David Berman, who
follows Greg Roth on Twitter,
is 3-1, 65%. That's 75%, against the number. Our boy Greg Roth is out this week. He's injured. He scratched his knee. He likes playing only when he's feeling 100%. So it's me and the ambassador taking you through the rest of the way. All right, here we go. Gold, silver, bronze. With Greg out with the scratched knee, it's a big week. I'm calling my own number here. I have that right. It's a big week for us. We have to have back-to-back winning weeks to turn this season into a winning one. So for gold, silver, bronze, everyone's favorite fellow degenerates co-host, yours truly. Goal games. The Saints plus 5.5. They are playing the Chiefs. Say a prayer, folks. Steve Fezzik, Ross Tucker, Gil Alexander, Fabian Summer, the Whale Capper, the Favorites Pod, Mike Lombardi, and Todd Wishnez are all on the Chiefs. All on the Saints. Adam Chernoff is on the Chiefs in descent. Our second goal game, and goal games have not been strong for us, folks, so far this season, but we had none last week. Maybe that's why we had such a good week. Here we are, the Steelers. -2.5 against my not-so-beloved Cowboys. Stuckey, Rob Pizzola, Google's Whale Capper, the Favorites Pod, Mike Lombardi, and Cleve TA, all on the Steelers. Mackenzie Rivers and Scott Seidenberg from the Dream Preview are in descent on the Cowboys. Silver game, the Rams, +3. They're playing, Dave, the
Packers.
Better. You can stay off mute for this. You can handle this.
Right.
On the Rams, we're just not as crisp as Greg. We don't have the practice. Rams +3. RJ Bell, Ross Tucker, the Whale Capper, and the Favorites Pods are all on the Rams. Steve Fezzik is in descent on the Packers. 4 bronze games, and we've been killing it with the bronze games. I don't know why, but we have. Here we go in order of how they were rated. The Vikings, -2.5. Gil Alexander, RJ Bell, the Hitman, Kyle Long, Mike Lombardi, all on the Vikings in descent. Scott Seidenberg is on the
Jets.
Thank you. That's right. Jets. Shout out to my dad. The Cardinals +1.5 is our next bronze game. Ross Tucker, the Favorites Pod, Cleve Tay, all on the Cardinals. Mackenzie River in descent on the
49ers, and it's the Cardinals +7.5, not 1.5.
Oh, that's not on me. I'm going to have to yell at the producers for that one. The Broncos is our next bronze game. We'll talk more about them in detail because that's an interesting pick. -2.5. Mike Lombardi, Chris Raybon, Kyle Long, all on the Broncos in descent. Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik, who are playing
the Raiders.
And last bronze game, but certainly not least. Well, actually, it is least. It is the least rated bronze game. The Browns +3.5. Ross Tucker, Cleve TA, the Whale Copper, and Stuckey all on the Browns +3.5 in descent. Scott Seidenberg and Rob Pizzola are on the
Commanders.
We've got some chemistry here. This could be building. This could be a new gold, silver, bronze thing. All right.
If Greg lost his job.
You might have just lost his job. If that is all you are looking for and you don't want trends and handicapping highlights, you are now dismissed. For those of you who want to stick around, the ambassador is going to take you through some interesting trends that Greg Roth collected for us.
I am. And we're going to start with the trends from Lock and Cash Sports. And you can find them at Lock_Cash at Twitter. Not Lock and Cash, Lock_ and Cash. And the first trend that they have for us is that teams that have yet to cover a game after week 3 have a record of 208, 159, and 6, which is 57% in week 4. The relevant teams this week would be the Dolphins, who are +1 at the Patriots. Actually, that's switched now. They're now favored at the Patriots. And the Texans +1 at the Bills. So it depends what line you get there. Winless teams facing a divisional opponent that has a win already are 63.2% against the spread. That applies to the Jags this week, who are 2.5-point favorite over the Colts. Then our next set of trends comes from John Ewing at Bet On It Labs. You can find him at John Ewing or at bet_labs. Undefeated NFL teams in week 5 or later since 2003. Underdogs are 72% against the spread. That's 21, 8, and 2. And favorites are 46% against the spread. 85, 98, and 6. That applies to 2 games this week. Vikings -2.5 versus the Jets and Chiefs -5.5 versus the Saints.
You started off slow. You were kind of struggling in the beginning. And then once that line that had flipped with the Dolphins and Patriots, like all of a sudden autopilot, and you just raised it up another notch. Well played.
Thank you, my friend.
First goal game, Saints +5.5 at the Chiefs. So we usually give you the theme, but the theme is sort of taken on a different like level lately with our producers putting in some nice theme comments, and it was led by our pioneer Chris Deeser, who we call D. So we're going to call these the D. It's just the D. The D for this game, KC's keto offense, no Rice, should allow the Saints to squeeze through the back door to cover the spread. By the way, that was written by EB. Handicap synopsis here. The Chiefs have seemingly been doing it with smoke and mirrors this year, going 4-0 to start the season with a lot of good luck. And if they want to keep it going, they're going to have to do it without their top running back and their top receiver. And while the Saints have come back down to earth with their rocket fast 2-0 start, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, and company should be able to keep this game close enough to cover. Highlight: Steve Fezzik from the Dream Preview says that although both teams' YPP is about the same, KC has had a lot of good luck at end of games. This has allowed him to go 4-0, so he's betting on that not continuing. Fabian Summer from Forward Progress says that no Rashid Rice will have a big impact, and other normal key players like Brown and Kelce are not having big impacts right now. Todd Wishno from Beating the Book says that New Orleans showed it could play with good teams in its games against Philly and Atlanta and should be able to hang with KC. In dissent, Adam Chernoff from Right Angle Sports likes Kansas City -5.5. Timestamps on this: Right Angle Sports, no timestamps. Dream Preview, 7 minutes, 38 seconds. Even Money, 26 minutes, 8 seconds. Beating the Book, 1 hour, 23 minutes, 24 seconds. You're welcome. Forward Progress, 57 minutes, 25 seconds. And the Favorites podcast, 54 minutes, 30 seconds.
Now we've got Cowboys at Steelers. The pick is the Steelers -2.5. The Deet: when the Cats are away, the Mice will play. In this case, the Cats being key defensive injuries for the Cowboys and the Mice being the annoying offensive scheme of Arthur Smith. Handicap synopsis: Dallas is riddled with injuries, currently including their best player, Micah Parsons. Pittsburgh should be able to find traction on the ground and move the ball consistently versus that beat-up defense. Stuckey from the Action Network says the Cowboys cannot stop the run, and Pittsburgh needs the run. Sounds like they can get it. No DeMarcus Lawrence for the Cowboys. No Micah Parsons. No defensive backs outside of Diggs. Cleve TA from Beating the Book says Dallas struggles defending the run. Defensive tackle is a weakness for Dallas, and they have those injuries already mentioned to Parsons and Lawrence. This equates to weakness stopping the run and no pass rush. Finally, Simon from the Favorites podcast points out that the Cowboys' biggest weakness is surprise, versus the run. They're right near the bottom in the league, and they also cannot run the ball on the other side. So it's a great matchup for the Steelers. Timestamps, Action Network, 7 minutes, 53 seconds. Dream Preview, 1 hour, 3 minutes, 41 seconds. Beating the Book, 50 minutes and 20 seconds. And the Favorites Podcast, 49 minutes and 20 seconds.
Great job from the production team. Thank you to Peabody for all his work behind the scenes making this all happen. Also, thanks to the professor from last week who co-hosted with you, EB. Appreciate that. Just a reminder for everyone, none of us here are truly sharp. But this is your Sharp Squares podcast. Good luck out there.